Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wando Road Soccer Complex on the campus of Southern Nazarene University. It's Great American Conference Men's Soccer Championship time. Hi, everyone. Luke McConnell, Michael Horn, along with you here at West Harmon Field for the first semifinal of two here this afternoon in Bethany, Oklahoma. An absolutely spectacular day for soccer as we have the number 2 seed Rogers State Hillcats, the co-champs of the Great American MIAA Conference this year, taking on number 3 seed Fort Hays State. Should be a great matchup between these two foes who drew in Claremore just a little over a week ago, and Rogers State getting the win at Fort Hays State earlier this season. And Michael, two very different teams as far as the style these two teams want to play this afternoon, but two very, very good teams.
We're excited to see how they do, how they come out, and who comes out faster and harder. That'll be the game changer. How they come out against each other.
Fort Hays 11-3-3 overall this season, number 11 in the regional rankings that were released yesterday. Rogers State comes in 8-5-5 overall, number 10 in the regional rankings. It's season number 1 for head coach Alex Nichols at Fort Hays State. Coming over from Florida Memorial, spent 9 years up at Central Methodist in Missouri as well. So familiar with the area, familiar with the landscape that the GAC MIAA resides in. It's year number 18 for Derek Larkin, the GAC Coach of the Year. He founded the Rogers State men's and women's programs back in 2007. This is his final year coaching, moving into an admin role at the end of this season. He would love to see that be delayed by a couple of weeks, but a fantastic career for Coach Larkin. Going to miss seeing him out on the sidelines here on the pitch. Run through the starters for you. First for the Rogers State Hillcats. Number 8, Brandon O'Rourke. Number 9, Eric Jertson. Number 11, Marcus Vaseo. Number 10, Noah Preston Watkins. Number 7, Louis Bassett. Number 6, Caleb Trussell. Number 2, Alex Fletcher. Number 13, Artur Carvajo. Number 20, Sam Ryder. And number 23, Alex Lang. The keeper is Declan Viljoen. For the Fort Hays State Tigers, number 9, Fabian Gilden Svensson. Number 13, Elias Overlord Simonyuk. Number 10, Tyg Walsh. Number 22, Harrison Bensuda. Number 8, Bryce Dickerson. Number 17, Jeremiah Johnson. Number 20, Marcos Irman. Number 15, Dimitri Chancho. Number 19, Mario Leal Valles. And number 18, Jackson Elgas. The keeper is number 0, Ben Dixon. Just about set to go. Semifinal number 2 coming up at 6 p.m. here on the SNU Athletics YouTube channel. The top seed and host Southern Nazarene Crimson Storm taking on number 4 seed the Newman Jets.
It's interesting. This is the 4th time that they've played in the semifinals together, and Rogers State is up 2-1 the last 3 years, and so this will be interesting to see who can take it this year.
Rogers State in the white tops, navy shorts. The Tigers for Fort Hays in all black today. Referee is ready for play, and here we go. And right off the bat, Mike, we see the aggressive pressure of the Tigers. We're going to see that for 90 minutes here this afternoon. Ball into the box. Here's Gilden Svensson. Turned outside there by Trussell for the Hillcats. It'll be a throw-in down the line for Jeremiah Johnson and the Tigers. Johnson, deep throw into the box. That's deflected out of bounds off of the Tigers. Declan Viljoen handling the keeper duties today for the Hillcats, all GAC first team. senior out of Auckland, New Zealand's had another fantastic year for Rogers State. O'Rourke unable to keep that in play, and Michael O'Rourke transfer from Oral Roberts, just down the road from Claremore, Oklahoma. Coach Larkin telling us earlier this week that he's kind of been the guy that's been the engine for them this year, especially with the loss of personnel in the midfield from last year's squad.
That's a pretty big program that he's coming from, and so this is awesome that he's able to take a role here.
O'Rourke a little heavy on the touch. Argos Human keeps it in, but a nice tackle there by Jertson. Johnson sending that across it. Couldn't keep it in play as it lands on top of the net.
Looks like Fort Hays is keeping a really high line. He's going to pressing the back line for most of the game, and so it looks like he'll, so far they've controlled the game and controlled the ball, and it looks good so far from them.
Very different style than what we've seen in the past from the Tigers under former head coach Jerry Cleary. And just looking back over some notes from last year's tournament, Coach Cleary asking the question coming into the tournament of his squad, are we too nice? Well, I think that has changed significantly for Hayes this year, leading the nation or last in the nation, whichever one you want to look at, with 321 fouls. The next closest team in Division II is 44 fouls away.
Wow, so you could say they have not been too nice this year.
Not at all. Tigers continue to maintain possession. It's been pretty much all Fort Hays here in the first 4.5 minutes. The Hillcats struggling to get it out of their own half here.
Yeah, one thing that we'll have to look for Rogers State is they need to look to widen the field when there's a high press. Wide as much as possible so you can break that press.
Both coaches calling for multiple foul opportunities there on that little burst. So you could say that the officials so far have been pretty even if both sides are not pleased.
That's always a good sign.
Ryder sends that one.
If nobody likes the officials, then they're probably doing a good job.
Ben Dixon in goal for the Tigers. The Tigers have rolled out 4 keepers over the course of the season, but Coach Alex Nichols saying that Dixon's been the most consistent. It's the returning keeper from last season for the Tigers, and it's been the guy over the last week and a half or so that's really seized the role. Herman looking out wide, no one there as Simonyuk was tucked a little inside there, so it'll be a throw in on the far side for Rogers State. And just an absolutely perfect day here in Bethany. Wind out of the southwest is light. Should be nice and cool for the evening semifinal as well, as Fletcher is cut off there. Header up ahead and have our first foul of the game. That's going on Tyg Walsh, junior out of Dublin, Ireland, leading the nation in assists this season, 14 over the course of the season. Third in the Great American Conference with 22 points. Throw in from Hayes, and come the Tigers looking into the box, looking for Johnson on the backside, headed out of there by Lang, but Walsh keeps it in. Lang with a nifty loop out to Jertson. Jertson able to maintain possession, might have come up and clipped him on the hand.
Good look to the middle field.
Viljoen with a strong check there on Gildan Svensson as he received that. Svensson holding his right hip a little bit as he comes back up the pitch. One thing to note, Michael, the Hillcats without Trendon Turner today, at least in the starting lineup, the GAC Defender of the Year not starting today, all GAC first team, and Elite Scholar for the Hillcats. Well, not sure on his status, but definitely something to watch, especially on this back line against the aggressive nature of the Tigers.
And definitely may make a difference.
Referee having a quick chat with Alex Nichols about conversations on questioning the calls. I have a feeling with both these teams, you know, on the cusp of those regional rankings and needing a win to stay alive in this season. I'd imagine both sides going to be quite intense here this afternoon. There's Carvajo pushing tempo upfield. Oh, nice header there from Johnson. Lang had a nice run. Here's O'Rourke looking outside for Bassett.
Good recovery.
Oh, a nice job keeping that in play there by the Tigers as Semeniuk sent that deep back to Viljoen.
Now they're looking to open up the field from that high press. Looks like now the Fort Hill Tigers have started to hang back a little bit. Only pressed for maybe the first 10 minutes of the game.
Preston Watkins into the box for Vaseo, and that crosses all the way across for a Fort Hayes throw-in.
We see number 9 over here holding his hip from the collision with the keeper earlier.
Looks like he's going to have to come off, maybe in Gildan Svensson, freshman out of Ladingo, Sweden. So he's going to head to the sideline for a moment. Into the matches, Felix Tellez Ramirez, senior out of Almeria, Spain, transferred in from Newman. He actually transferred out to Florida Memorial to meet up with Coach Alex Nichols, and then Coach Nichols turns around and takes the Fort Hayes job and brings along Ramirez with him. And talking with Newman coach Victor Dominguez earlier this week, had a conversation about that, and just kind of as an example of how Dominguez, wants to be for his players. He had a conversation with Ramirez. Is like, you're gonna think bad of me about turning around and then coming to a rival conference school? And Dominguez is like, no, whatever is best for you. Whatever's best for you is what matters. And you'd love to see that from coaches who, aren't going to be petty and restrict the transfer market and things like that.
It shows that you really care about your kids and about your players, and that's great to see from these coaches too.
And when, news like that gets around, high school coaches, club coaches, they hear those stories and they pass that along to their players, and it makes a big difference. Header into the box, second header, it's still loose right in the middle of the box.
Finish.
And driven on and wide there by the Tigers. Semeniuk had the shot. Hillcats fortunate. Hillcats trying to get the quick goal kick, but the referee saying not so fast, my friends, and Villion will do it again. Sermon up ahead to Ramirez. Looked like it clipped him on the hand. No call. Lang earns a throw-in for the Hillcats. If you're looking at home, you might see what clearly looks like a man-to-man defense here for the Tigers, marking up by the man individually. Michael, that's not something you see every day on the pitch.
No, most of the time you're in a zone and not necessarily man marking, but they definitely are following, and that can be a good and a bad thing. It can leave you vulnerable on the far side, and so for a potential switch, and so as long as they stay with their man, they should be able to play it well, but also leaves you vulnerable on the far side.
What makes it a little bit more difficult individually to be able to do that?
You know, if you're man marking, you're obviously following your guy all the way across the pitch, so when you're in a zone, you're sharing that guy with other people, and so that then essentially one is you get more tired quickly because you're following the guy around, but also you're potentially leaving other open spots on the field for other people to run into.
Again, new coach, new era, new style of everything here for the Tigers after several years under former coach Jerry Cleary. That's something Coach Nichols talked to us about a lot this week, is so many times talking about how just learning. Got to learn the new guys, got to learn new ways of doing things and get to know the personnel. And, you know, he mentioned that time and time again, and, you know, really spoke highly of his guys as a collective unit. Didn't really want to single anybody out in particular.
You know, it's hard to go into a new system so quick, but they've obviously been successful, and they've learned this new coach and what he has to do and what kind of tactics he wants to play very quickly.
Walsh takes down Trussell, and Hillcats get the free kick quickly back in play over to Bassett on the far side. The Englishman transferred into Rogers State from Oklahoma Christian. Going into the box just a little bit wide of Fletcher. It's about 15 minutes gone by here in the first half. No score between the number 2 seed Hillcats and the number 3 seed Tigers. Tigers have controlled things for the most part, but Rogers State trying to probe in a little bit more. Here it's O'Rourke up top, looking out wide to Jertson. Jertson looking back for O'Rourke. Here's Lang with space, lobs it backside for Bassett, but Dixon comes up to snatch that out of the air.
Great save, quick kick.
All the way down to Villio, and that one carried nearly all the way into the 18-yard box. Fletcher on the outside, looking to play it in, plays it across. Jertson is there, into the middle. Ball shot on goal from O'Rourke, saved by Dixon, and a foul on Hermain. And that's going to be a penalty kick here for Jertson and Rogers State. Here, 15 minutes gone by in the first half. Big moment here, Michael.
Yeah, it's a big moment for anybody, especially in a semifinal. And we see that since Rogers State has started to open up the field a little bit and use their wides, that they've started to break down Fort Hays a little bit, and it's now successful for them. They looked to switch the ball and got the penalty.
Get a beautiful save by Dixon, but then it was Marcos Herman taking down Yurtsin in the box. Marcos Viseo, senior out of Madrid, Spain, midfielder of the year this year in the Great American Conference, moving back to midfielder after playing forward for the Hillcats the last 2 years. There's Viseo, and he puts it in the bottom right corner, and the Hillcats are on top. So an early goal for Rogers State takes the 2-seed Hillcats to a 1-0 lead exactly 15 minutes into the contest. Again, Rogers State got the win 1-0 in Hays back at the beginning of October, and then they battled to a draw at the beginning of this month in Claremore. So Viseo picks up his 9th goal of the season. And Rogers State with the early 1-0 lead. Deep ball for Lang. Chancho over there to take it away. Vaz gets it up ahead to Ramirez now. Chancho looking deep and sends it out of play down the near sideline. Michael, obviously, 74 plus minutes to go in this one. 1-0 lead is far from insurmountable, but when you've got a more possession-based team versus a more aggressive team, how does this change the calculus a little bit?
You know, in the last 5 to 10 minutes, Fort Hays has stopped their high press as much, and they were very successful at the very beginning of the game and put Rogers on their heels, and so they may need to look to go back to that high press and put them under some pressure to get the game back a little bit.
Johnson, good ball up ahead. Ryder turns that aside. Dickerson can't control it. Here's Lang working across the pitch. Good spin away. Hillcats working possession. Here's Fletcher on the left side. Sends it into the box, looking backside. Yurtsin is there. It deflects out of bounds off of Yurtsin. It'll be a goal kick here for the Tigers. Movement there from the Hillcats. We're going to get a sub here for the Tigers. Ian Inigo coming on for his 9th appearance of the season. Overler Simonyuk comes off for Fort Hays. Yurtsin up ahead to O'Rourke, who's got some space. And Chancho clears that out of play just ahead of Yurtsin, but again, Hillcats starting to make some good runs here and find opportunities deep in the Hays third. Lang working the throw in on the near side in front of the Hays bench. Lang blasts that one high, but over the goal and out of play. Mike, we've seen both Lang and Fletcher, those two wingbacks, moving up the field considerably throughout the early part of this one, and a bit more of a product of moving more to a 4-3-3 as opposed to the 3-5-2 that Rogers State ran last year, just due to that gap in midfield production. that they lost from a year ago.
And sometimes going to a 4-3 then kind of helps you use your wide areas a little bit more and push up your outside backs, especially against a team that goes more direct down the middle. They may end up being more successful using their outsides more, and that's what they had missed in the first 10 minutes of the game, is their wingback pushing up to the outside.
Ramirez bumped off his spot by Fletcher. No foul call there. Harmless goal kick coming up for Rogers State. So Rourke looking up ahead. He's got Yurtsin just outside the box. Nice touch by Yurtsin. Goes to the right foot and didn't quite get enough on it as Dixon turned that aside. Great ball by O'Rourke there, but a beautiful touch by Yurtsin. Walsh looking for Ramirez. Carvalho slips over the ball and Lang pokes it out of play. It's a throw in for Hayes down near the corner. Michael, I think that was a great example of what every soccer player, every young soccer player in particular, has to work on. Both feet.
Right. If you're trying to hit it with the outside of your foot, you're not as confident.
Chancho right in the middle, and it's blasted over the bar by Leal Valles. Great touch by Chancho, but Valles unable to put it into the open goal, put it right over the top.
It's a great save by the keeper, really defending his box and showing how much they really want this.
O'Rourke, is that one taken away by Dickerson. Elgis up ahead to Ramirez, but turned aside by Trussell. O'Rourke needs some help. Defense there, individually there by Dickerson, all GAC second team member. Came over to Hayes from Florida Memorial with Coach Nichols. There's Herman up ahead. O'Rourke looking down the sideline for Yurtsin. Takes that away from Chancho, and Valles just blasts that one out of play for a corner kick for Rogers State. So Rourke to take it, sends it in short, looking for Bassett, but Elgis takes that away, sends it upfield. Trussell there, able to keep it. Blasts it in toward the box, and Dixon there to take care of it, no problem. Dixon sends it deep, looking for Ramirez. Now Johnson has some space, crosses it in, headed on by Walsh, but over the bar. Nice ball there by Johnson.
Great ball, good run in the middle. Kind of the Rogers State lost their man a little bit and gave him an open header.
Header from Dickerson, trickles out of play. Lang has that blocked out of play by Walsh. .21 minutes to go, first half. Hillcats lead this one 1-0. Marcos Vaseo with the goal on the penalty kick. As Valez took down Yurtsin in the box at the 30-minute mark of the first half. Chancho looking in the middle and was a little wide of Inigo, and that's cleared out of play for a Hayes throw-in. Michael pace kind of slowed a little bit. Just teams kind of trying to feel each other out here after the early goal for Rogers State.
It's definitely hard to keep up that same pace that they started with, you know, in the first 10 minutes, and you've got to conserve a little bit of energy as you continue on and try to break down your opponent.
Ball deflecting off the top of Carvajo and earns the Tigers a throw in. Elgis comes in tight to help out Walsh. A lot of traffic right in front of the mouth of goal. Here's Walsh looking back post. And Viljoen had to punch that one away. That one was heading for the net. Head to the other corner for Hayes. This time it'll be Herman. Transferred in from Central Methodist, played for Coach Nichols for a couple years there. Mon curls it in, headed on by Chancho, but too high, didn't get that one down. And a goal kick here for the Hillcats.
You know, statistically, you don't often score off of set pieces like corners and free kicks. Most of the time it's, you know, in-game goals. So even though it seems like you're, you know, we're excited to get a corner, often no goals come from it.
There's Yurtsin moving inside. There's O'Rourke working up top against Chancho. Cross to Fletcher. Needs one more. Just out of his reach as Elgis able to turn that away. Ryder able to escape up the line, but Hayes wins possession back. Here's Walsh. Looking outside for Johnson. Johnson turns. Working outside against Lang now. Goes baseline, tried to chip it in, but great defense there by Alex Lang, just standing him up. Lang's second team all-conference performer this year out of London, England. Went up on 17 minutes to go in the first half. That one mishit there by Viljoen. Johnson, ball up ahead to Ramirez. Carvajo is there in the box with him. Ramirez will get there first on the outside. Nice job by Carvajo down there in the corner, keeping that in play, taking it away from Ramirez, and ultimately the Hillcats get a throw out of it. Here's Dickerson probing, Good ball into the middle. No one there, though. Ramirez takes down Vaseo. Vaseo down in some pain. Shaking his right hand like Ramirez might have stepped on it after Vaseo went down. But Spaniard seems to be all right. Big move for Vaseo this year, as we mentioned earlier, Michael. How difficult is that to move from being kind of the guy up front at forward and moving back into the midfield?
You know, it's a really big transition. You know, as a midfield player, you're looking to control the entire game, and everything moves through you. Versus as a striker, you know, you're the man up top, and so it's a big change in mindset and how you play and how you approach the game.
Ramirez checks off. Anders Sandstø in for the first time today, the senior out of Bergen, Norway. Earns a throw in down the line, heading that one off of Trussell. Johnson, deep throw into the box. Header right in the middle, headed on goal, but Villioen's there. It was Leal Valles. They're putting it right on the mouth of goal, but Villioen right there to collect that and turn it back upfield. Rahman grabbing Lang there. It's a free kick for the Hillcats. Given the relative number of fouls the Tigers had coming into this one, Michael, it's been pretty clean overall.
It really has. It really has been not much action in that way.
Certainly has not lacked physicality by any stretch of the imagination.
But definitely more of maybe a clean game.
Flag is up. Offside there on Inigo on the far side. Junior out of Houston, Texas. Michael, it seems like ever since that first 5-10 minute stretch for Hayes, Tigers have really struggled to maintain possession in this one.
And that's really a result of more of their direct style of play. And so that may be what they're looking for, is since they're playing the ball high and not keeping it wide, they definitely don't keep possession as much, but may have more opportunities on goal.
Colin Hirschberger, sophomore out of Newton, Kansas, onto the pitch for the first time as Marcos Herman checks out for the Tigers. 12.5 to go first half. Hillcats lead this one 1-0. Middle of the box, headed it right in the middle. Walsh at the spot. Shot, goal! Dimitri Chancho puts it in the back of the net, as Walsh did a tremendous job maintaining possession right at the penalty spot. Knocked it back to Chancho, who rips the cords from just inside the 18-yard box. It's assist number 15 of the season for Tig Walsh, GAC first team member. Substitution here for the Hillcats as we're now tied at 1. Preston Watkins comes off for Rogers State, and Trendon Turner, defender of the year in the GAC, takes spot up at the top of the formation for the Hillcats. Inigo, is that taken away by Fletcher? Ahead to Yurtsin, but Johnson takes it right back. Dickerson right through the legs of Lang, but Yurtsin there to keep possession for Rogers State. Sends it all the way back. No foul called there on Tressel. And Michael, we could hear the shoe clack from here.
Right.
Not sure what the referee saw there that didn't warrant a whistle.
You know, I've never seen a referee change their mind. So, the more you argue with him, the he's never gonna change.
Long ball on the far side for Inigo, but Ryder takes that away, and Suda knocks that out of play. Fletcher on the far side to throw it in for the Hillcats. Headed on, Bassett can't keep it in play, and it'll be back over to Hayes. Elgis, deep throw in. Substitution here for Ford Hayes. Coming off will be Inigo, and coming on for the first time, Mamadou Omar Inye. 5'10" seater out of Wanaka, New Zealand. His 12th appearance of the season. So far, Michael, the subs we've seen for Hayes have all been up top, with the exception of Hirschberger coming in for Herman.
You know, those subs make a lot of sense, especially with their high press and rotating out those strikers. You know, they get tired because they do the most run out of everybody.
Chancho blasts that one out of play. Viljoen gets the ball to stop rolling this time and able to get the quick one, but here comes Hayes quickly. Dickerson lobs it in. It's Carvajo is there. Yurtsin deflects that off Dickerson to earn the throw in for the Hillcats. Chancho can't control. Here's Yurtsin outside to Turner. Back up top to Yurtsin. He blasts that one wide of the net.
We talked about man marking, and that's really the hardest job is trying to stay on your man versus following the ball, and you have to be super disciplined. And that you know, if you're not always disciplined, then that definitely leaves space behind you to get in.
And that's something that's, you know, not necessarily the opposite of what these guys have been doing their whole life, but certainly it's in the minority of the time that they've spent on a soccer pitch is playing man marking. So it would make sense that it's easy to lapse out of those things. So we have subs here for the Hillcats as Yurtsin and O'Rourke come off. In the match for the first time, Lawson Ford, sophomore out of Edmond, Oklahoma, along with Nick Treat, freshman out of Tulsa. Ford transferred in from Oklahoma Christian, where he's a member of the All-Lone Star Conference freshman squad a season ago. There's Turner up top, outside to Lang. Lang on the run and turned aside by Dickerson, but Carvalho right back with it. Hillcats have space on the far side, but Carvalho couldn't get the space to get it across. Turner had some space on the far side there, Michael, but Hillcats couldn't take advantage. And 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. 1-1 between the Hillcats and the Tigers. Sorry, Michael, I cut you off there.
Now that space on the far side is really where, you know, if you look, everybody's on our side of the field, and so the moment you switch it and go for the attack, it's, you know, normally you play it where all the space is, and so it seems as though that's where we're looking here, going to the outside of the field, spreading out your opponent.
That's what Hirschberger wanted to do there, looking for Elgus, but Bassett able to get there first and take it away from him. And then that one deflects out of bounds off of, I believe that was Dickerson over there.
And you see Lawson on the far side of the field for Rogers State, trying to spread out the defense a little bit. And then going in for the pressure for the keeper.
Hayes throw in up the pitch. Elgus to take that one. Deep into the box, but Carvalho turns it aside. Here's third time's the charm on the handball situation, Michael. Both sides had one earlier in the half that they were not pleased that didn't get called, but number 3 finally earns free kick off the hand.
I'm sure they'll have to see it at some point, right?
Absolutely. Walsh and Johnson both standing over this one.
To be all of Fort Hayes on top of the 18, really nobody back.
Here's Walsh putting it in play. Deflected, but comes back out. Here's Vaseo on the run on the far side. And a nice tackle there by Walsh. Vaseo not pleased, but unless he was arguing it went out of play, it looked good from here, Michael.
It looked great tackle.
Here's Bensuda, sends it in across, just a bit too high for Hirschberger. Dickerson splits defenders. Tried to put it on goal, it blocked by Lang. Here's Treat, taken down, no call. Here's Bassett looking deep for Turner. Here on the near side, and couldn't rotate enough to keep that one in play. Quick sub here for the Tigers as Inye comes off. Lucas Garay comes on for the first time. Freshman out of Paraguay. Treat heads that out of play. Down to 3 minutes to go first half. 1-1 our score between the Hillcats and the Tigers. Johnson looking for Dickerson down the line.
It definitely feels like the last 10 minutes of the game is time of possession has evened out quite a bit. Nobody seems to be on top of that at the moment.
Dickerson trying to turn line, but Lang takes it away from him, and now Dickerson fouls him down in the corner. With 2 minutes to go in the half. Yeah, it seems like we've had a 10-minute burst, and then pretty even over the last 20, 22, 23 minutes or so. Elgus and Bassett racing over on the far sideline. Elgus working down the line. It stays in play. And now the delayed whistle comes against the Hillcats.
Looked like the ref was probably waiting for the advantage to see if it was anything was going to happen for that.
So it'll be the Tigers who have it about halfway down the 18 box, but outside near the sideline. Like Walsh will be the guy again.
You see we've got about 55 seconds left. Everybody's pushed up in the box, so one of their last couple plays to try to find something.
Got Johnson standing just outside the 18, nobody on him. Walsh sends it into the middle. Chancho, it deflects, and Viljoen was there. Chancho headed it back into the middle, deflected off someone, but Viljoen plucked it right out of the air. Not the first time that the Kiwis had to make a stop like that, just on some traffic in the middle. And the final seconds tick off of the first half here in semifinal number 1 of the GAC MIAA Conference Tournament. We're tied at 1. Rogers State scoring 15 minutes into the match. About 15 minutes later, it was the Tigers evening the score, all tied up at 1 apiece through 45 minutes on a beautiful day here in Bethany. Michael, your first thoughts on how the first 45 minutes went?
You know, it's really been a great first half. You know, as we've kind of talked about the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game, Fort Hays pressed really high, came out really fast, and dominated that first 10 to 15 minutes. And once Rogers State settled down and spread the play a little bit, started breaking them down, they then took that time of possession and started pushing forward. And when they ended up getting that goal. And so, you know, it looks really good. I think they've both kind of felt each other out, and they've understand what each other is going to do, and it looks like it's going to be a good match in the second half, and it'll be interesting to see if any adjustments that they make for the second half.
So that's how the first half went. 1-1 our score. We'll take an extended break. We'll come back, wrap things up from the first half, get you ready for the second half of action here at West Harmon Field in Bethany on the campus of Southern Nazarene University. Again, 6 o'clock kick for the game number 2, semifinal number 2 between the top seed Crimson Storm and the number 4 seed Newman Jets. It's coming up right after this one at 6 o'clock. So we'll take an extended break, and we'll be back after this timeout. And welcome back to Bethany, ladies and gentlemen. 1-1 the score at halftime between the number 2 seed Rogers State Hillcats and the number 3 seed Fort Hays State Tigers. Luke McConnell and Michael Horn back with you here at West Harmon Field. And Michael, a good even 45 minutes across the board for both squads. And after the first 5-minute kind of blitzkrieg from the Tigers, the Hillcats settled in, got on the board first, but Hays rallied back, playing a little bit more controlled maybe than we expected. Not quite the super aggressive style that maybe we were expecting to see, and even things up with Dimitri Chancho with the goal. And the last 15 minutes or so, pretty even across the board.
Yeah, it definitely looks good. I mean, we were looking at over break. The Fort Hays averaged about 18 fouls per game, and so right now we're only at what is that, 3? Right now we're at, looks like we're at, 3. And so, you know, that maybe that may be what they're, not necessarily looking for more fouls, but, you know, becoming more aggressive in that second half and trying to take over the game a little bit.
Should be noted as we head into this second half, with both squads back out on the pitch, that it is golden goal situation here. If we're tied at the end of regulation, we will move into a golden goal situation. No extra time or penalty shootout unless we need it. So that's how things are going to go here this evening as the sun begins to set. And obviously that'll be something that Ben Dixon, who's in the goal now to our left for Fort Hays, will have to deal with here in the second half. Looks like the starters back out there for both squads to start the second 45 minutes. Chancho a little off the mark there with that one. Vaseo quickly up ahead for the Hillcats. Lobs it deep down the sideline. Here's Dickerson looking down the line. Svensson up top. Semenyuk with a drive and a save by Viljoen. Big shot there from Semenyuk, the sophomore out of Paraguay, all GAC first team member this year. An early look there for the Tigers, Michael.
Yeah, that's good. They look like they're starting as they started the first half, pressing high, putting a lot of pressure on Rogers State.
Balez with a nice job keeping possession for the Tigers to get the goal kick. And out there right now for the Tigers, Chancho, Balez, Elgis, Walsh, Bensuda, Semenyuk, Herman, Dickerson, Svensson, and Johnson. For the Hillcats, Lang, Carvajo, Ryder, Fletcher, Vaseo, Yurtson, Trussell, Bassett, O'Rourke, and Preston Watkins. Here's Dickerson working on the far side. Turned aside by the freshman Preston Watkins. GAC newcomer of the year this year, second team all-conference member. This guy that Coach Larkin mentioned was a guy that they went out and found in the offseason on the recruiting trail, and he's been a huge addition to the squad. Johnson hurls that one into the box. Driven on by Semenyuk. Now Walsh lets that one go out of play, and the Tigers earn a corner kick. So yeah, Michael, much like the first half, a lot happening in front of the Hillcat in the Hillcat defensive third to start the half, just like it did in the first half, as Hays kind of puts the offensive pressure on here in the early going.
Yeah, it's good to see, and we'll see how long they can hold that type of pressure before Rogers State finds a way out of it.
Here's Herman, puts it in short, deflected on, and kicked aside. I think that was Carvajo who cleared that one away, but the initial deflection again put it right in front of the mouth of goal. seen that a few times, Michael. We're just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, we've stacked the box, put everybody in front of the keeper, and so definitely a high chance for an opportunity.
On tries it again. Carvalho heads that away, comes to Johnson, top of the box, drives it in, and it's good! A goal from Jeremiah Johnson from just outside the top of the box. The header from Carvalho to clear did not clear Johnson just outside the circle, and he puts it in the back of the net on the left side. A beautiful strike for Johnson, the senior out of Columbia, Missouri. Michael, it didn't look like that shot had a ton of pace on it. It just seemed like it was one of those that maybe Villion couldn't quite see as it made its way through traffic.
Yeah, we saw Villion came out and tried to punch it out. Instead, he got it. One of his defenders got it headed out instead, which kind of put him out of goal a little bit, and he wasn't able to recover. So even though there wasn't a whole lot of pace on that ball, they caught him out of goal a little bit.
So the Tigers on top for the first time this afternoon, less than 4 minutes into the second half. Here comes Johnson looking for more. Sends it wide for Seminyuk. Now Walsh lobs it in, but cannot keep it in play. Seminyuk working the sideline here against Fletcher, earns the throw in, and the Hayes bench fired up down to our right, grabbing the early second half lead. Work there on the sideline by O'Rourke and Bassett to get possession back for the Hillcats. And Paseo sends that high and falls out of play to the Tigers. Headed out of play by Fletcher. Michael just listen to some of the protestation there. I haven't seen a single foul called on a through the back situation here this afternoon.
No, they have been just about every play. They have been right on each other, and so it's hopefully this game doesn't start to get too chippy as we go.
Paseo takes down Seminyuk and nearly sat on his back there along the Hayes sideline. No harm. There was a foul, though. So it'll be Hayes with the free kick. Walsh and Herman standing over top of it, right in front of the Tigers bench. Now Johnson comes over to join Walsh. Right-footed Walsh sends it toward the back post. Went too far for Chancho, but he'll track it down near the corner and send it back into the box. Headed out of there by Ryder. Hayes keeps it in the third. Chancho across the middle to the back post. Walsh, low save by Villion with the right foot.
And we're looking to have to get out quick.
Outstanding save by the senior. A great find to Paseo. Paseo is fouled. Paseo still down right in front of us. Free kick here for the Hillcats. It'll be Trussell. Sophomore out of Edmond. Getting his 7th start of the year today. Trussell sends it down the line looking for Fletcher. Semeniuk got a touch on it. Fletcher lets it clamber out of bounds, and the Hillcats will get a corner kick. It'll be their first of the afternoon with 37 minutes to play, trailing 2-1 in semifinal number 1. Both these teams needing to win the conference tournament to get into the NCAA tournament. O'Rourke to take the corner. Sends it in, back post, and it's hit in! Carvalho! Artur Carvalho! Sitting on the back post. Dixon couldn't quite reach it, and it was Artur Carvalho with the equalizer with 36:49 to go.
Great finish to equalize. It's really the first time that they've been on Fort Hays' half, and so that's a great way to push forward and get that goal.
So all knotted up at 2 just like that. 2 goals. The first 8 minutes and change of the second half. Michael, at that pace, we could be in for a wild one. And move by Herman, crosses it into the middle, turned aside by Trussell into the bleachers on the far side.
You know, in the last 10 minutes of the game, we've seen Fort Hays are playing a little bit less direct. Most in the first half went straight to the strikers from the back line, and now it looks like they're settling in a little bit, looking to possess the ball a little bit more and try to get forward that way.
Johnson fires it deep into the box. It's on the ground. Oh, Walsh looking for it. It's still loose in front of goal, and Viljoen finally gets his hands on top of it. Oh, deep ball looking for Preston Watkins. He got behind the defense a little bit. Has it in the box. Working to the top, needs some help. Leaves it for the trailing Fletcher. Couldn't get a good touch on it. Dixon cleans that up without any problem. A great run there by the freshman Preston Watkins. Your associate head coach Jake Simpson telling defense not letting the ball drop in the box, and frankly, Michael, with how this match has gone, Semeniuk down, no foul, just a throw in here for the Tigers. Official stops play, calls for the trainer. Semeniuk favoring that right leg. You know, Michael, one thing that all the coaches talked to us about in our conversations with them earlier this week was injuries. Like all of them mentioned having to deal with a bunch of injuries over the course of the year, whether in preseason or just throughout the season itself.
Gosh, and that's the hardest part of a game. You know, when you lose somebody like that and have to then make adjustments and figure out what you're going to do next. And it's also, you know, equally hard for the player in that way too. I mean, you love to play and you love this game, and it's hard to go down and have to be out.
Dixon sends that into the box. Bassett sends that one away. It's unfortunate for Semeniuk, who wasn't out there too much in the first half. And Anders Sandstow on to replace him. Good touch up ahead to Lang. Lang turns. Can't quite get it, as Bassett might have been offside there. A foul from behind by Vaseo, and that's going to earn Vaseo the first yellow card of the match as he took down Sandstow from behind. Alex Nichols not pleased with that tackle.
You know, he's probably looking at that as more of a tactical foul. And they were almost on the break, and so sometimes, you know, you look to slow the other team down a little bit to make that, and so it ended up being a smart foul for them.
Dixon ready to send this one deep for the Tigers. Into the box it comes. It's loose on the ground. Sandstow got there. That's cleared out of play by Trussell. Been quite a few of those this afternoon, Michael. I mean, the Hillcats are tied up at 2, but really kind of fortunate that they're not down, because there's been a couple balls into the box that have just been kind of sitting around both in the 18-yard and right in front of goal, that a couple that Villionov's had to clearing up, and that one right there just kind of sitting there for a minute.
They're definitely getting into the box and having those opportunities, which is a good look for Fort Hays.
Goes out of bounds off Sandstow, or for Sandstow, I should say, for Hayes throw in down to our right. 2-2 our score. 33 minutes to go in the match. Semifinal number 1 of the GAC MIAA men's soccer tournament.
So looking for another long throw here. They've pushed up both their center backs to try to flick it on. Also got somebody in front of the keeper for another one of those balls into the box to just hopefully get a toe on.
Johnson, deep throw. Comes down to Valles. Goes down in the box and no call. Elgas blasts it back down the line. It'll be a Hillcat throw in. Here's Vaseo. Crosses all the way across the field. Looking for Yurtsin, but couldn't quite get it to him. Here's Lang, right down the middle. Has guys on the wings. Takes it himself, gets it outside. That was Preston Watkins with a drive, but Dixon was there. Great movement there by Dixon, anticipating that off the right foot of Preston Watkins. Svensson wanted to go fast, but didn't have the cavalry with him, so Tigers will move up slowly.
Here we go. We're looking at your same play again. Pushing that long throw into the box, pushing up your big center backs, and looking for a flick on a goal.
Johnson's quite the long throw expert here for Hayes. Come on, outside to Johnson. Johnson sends it across. Back post. Valles couldn't get it down. Vaseo just sends it out. It's going to be a corner kick here for Fort Hays. Vaseo couldn't get the deflection off the foot of Walsh. Substitution here, Ramirez coming back in for Golden Svensson.
Looks like they were trying to leave their
big forward out there.
right.
Ramirez just 5'7", Svensson 6'5". Obviously, 6'5" is quite helpful on a corner. Herman into the middle. Valles just missed that one. Viljoen with the catch. Mishit the punt. Here's O'Rourke. Good ball down the line. Just a little bit too wide there. Tried to keep it in play with the curl off that left foot. Under 30 minutes to go. 2-2 our score. Tigers just moving the ball down the field via throw. Elgis moves down in front of his bench to take this one. Elgis, junior out of Leawood, Kansas, a GAC honorable mention this season. Has started every game he's played in. Ball into the middle of the box. There's Walsh with a header on, but didn't have enough pace on it. Viljoen cleans that one up without any issues. There's Ryder. Good ball up ahead to Fletcher. Chancho has to clear that out of play as Fletcher on the run from that left back position. Ball into Preston Watkins. Oh, nice job to get it back. Here's Bassett up top, looking for the back post, but blast that one out of play. He got caught between a shot and a pass there, Michael.
You know, sometimes it's hard to change your mind.
Jeremiah Johnson checks out for the first time today as Inigo comes back on for the Tigers. Alex Nichols telling him it's not going to be for long. Yes. Johnson, one of those guys that came over to Hayes from Florida Memorial with Coach Nichols.
You see, just like they did in the first half, they're continuing to rotate their strikers up top and looking to find the high press and getting to the ball quickly after they lose it.
Herman with the throw for the Tigers on the far side. Lang able to keep that one in play. That one straight up in the air on the far side. Now Ramirez with a nifty move at Viseo, trailing the play nicely. And now Lang takes back possession for the Hillcats. Good ball by O'Rourke. Yurtsin racing down the far side. He's got it. Can he cross it in the middle? It needs a touch. And it's in the back of the net. Is it a goal? It is! It is! Hayes thought it went out. But it's a goal for the freshman. Noah Preston Watkins with the goal. And the Hillcats go up 3-2.
The play's never over until the whistle blows. So you've always got to keep going.
Absolutely. Looked like the Tigers thought it went out, and it looked like they just stopped there. But what a run by Yurtsin, taking it all the way to the last possible moment before finding the freshman Preston Watkins for the go-ahead goal.
Hey, come on, boys! Come on!
So 3 goals here in the second half, 2 for the Hillcats, 1 for the Tigers. 26 minutes to go. Rogers responded very quickly to the Tigers' first goal of the second half. We'll see if the Tigers can do the same here after the Hillcats' goals. Here's Dickerson trying to get inside of Ryder. Nice defense there by Ryder, but Dickerson gets it back. Lobs it, back post. Turned aside by Lang. Elgas back into the middle, and Trussell clears that out of there for Rogers State. Vermon looking for the middle, knocked out a play by Yurtsen. Still a lot of time here.
More than enough time to respond. There's no need to change your tactics or how you're playing to get that goal, and they'll still be pushing on.
Elgas deep throw to the top of the box. Bassett gets it up ahead, but Bensuda got there first. There's O'Rourke. Sends it back for Yurtsen. Yurtsen a little bit of a miss hit there, and the Tigers back with it. Dickerson looking for Sandstone, but Fletcher's able to take care of it on the near side. Here come the Hillcats. Lane goes down. Looking for O'Rourke. Can he get there before Hermine? And Herman, nice defense there. Shielding off Brandon O'Rourke. Great ball there by Trussell, though.
Rogers State is knocking down the door again, looking to get that next goal.
Had several opportunities there on the long counters, just kind of essentially one-on-one opportunities. Lang is taken down by Ramirez. And we're going to get a card here on Ramirez. So yellow card each way. Plethora of subs down below us. Lang is down holding his right ankle.
We've got our training staff coming out.
The trainers come to attend to Alex Lang. He's been outstanding today for the Hillcats. And just another injury in a season full of them for all these teams. Coach Larkin telling us in preseason, early on in the season, they looked over, now the 35 guys they have on the roster, only 20 were practicing. Can't even run a full scrimmage in practice with 20 guys. Lang being helped off the field by the training staff, flexing that right ankle.
It's going to be another hit for that back line. We were saying earlier that Rogers State had another player that was a normal starter that was out on that back line. Is that correct?
Yeah, and then Turner came in and was playing forward. So coming on for Lang is number 16, Ellis Leokanen, freshman out of Sundsvall, Sweden. Seminyuk coming back in for Sandstow. That was an injury substitution from earlier, so good to see Seminyuk back out there. Chancho blasts that one into the parking lot. Oh, he managed to keep it in the stands at least. Now substitutions. Come on, Inigo comes off. Johnson back on for the Tigers. And for the Hillcats, Vaseo comes off. Nick Treat back on. Trendon Turner also coming back on as Bassett takes a seat. So Vaseo and Bassett both off. Turner moves back to his usual center back position. You've got Carvajo out wide right now. Fletcher playing a little bit higher right now for the Hillcats. The touch by Walsh, and Ryder gets there first ahead of Seminyuk. There's Treat trying to get it outside. Comes back to Ryder anyway. Ryder looking down the line. Iliokinen goes out of bounds for a goal kick.
Good chase down the line, looking like they're waiting for everybody to reset and get back to their spots. Sounds like they're changing their formation, going to stack the middle a little bit, keeping 3 in the back, which now they're starting to push people up to try to get that that tying goal.
Under 22 minutes to go. The Tigers shifting 3-5-2, so even that back line a little bit more vulnerable, Michael, in the way the Hillcats have worked the second half. They've had some good runouts.
Which just means that they haven't been possessing the ball, but they may be playing a little bit more direct now after they're starting to push more people up.
Germán sends it down the pitch, a little deflection there. Yurtsen sends it over. Okinen sends that out of play, and the Tigers will earn a throw. And Michael, a little bit interesting by Coach Alex Nichols, kind of moving the pressure up earlier as opposed to, you get down 10 minutes to go or so. You get a little more desperate to start taking those measures. What are your thoughts on doing this a little bit earlier in the half? Germán looking into the box, hit it on, but Viljoen right there, Seminyuk.
It goes both ways. You don't want to get down to 10 minutes and then not have the opportunities you would have had to push people up. They also haven't been creating as many opportunities in the last 10 minutes or so. So to try to create those opportunities, get a little bit more maybe possession in the middle and start controlling that ball a little bit to push forward, I'm sure is what he's looking at here. But it comes at a cost when you push people up, because then you're like you had said, you're a little bit more vulnerable in the back. So we'll see how that pans out for them.
Johnson holding right in the middle. It's up top to Walsh. Outside to Ben Suda. Walsh looking for the back post for Seminyuk, headed away by Luokinen. Throw in here for the Tigers. Under 20 minutes to go. 3-2, Rogers State. Johnson sends it deep. Turner turns it away. We'll do it again. Ramirez comes out. Garay comes back in. Elgus sends it into the box. Valles gets it back to Johnson. Johnson, nice move to get away from Treat. Sends it in low, and Carvajo clears it out.
You can definitely see the change in how they're playing, and they've pushed more people up, and they've got significantly more chances in this last 5 minutes.
Into the box, Valles. That was turned aside by the Hillcats. Vinsuda outside to Semeniuk. Semeniuk in deep. Oh, it got over the first line, but Viljoen quick off his line. Puts it away. Tigers throw into our left. Another deep throw by Elgas. Here's Johnson. Oh, nice touch for Semeniuk. A little bit too heavy there from Elias. Viljoen able to take care of that without any issue, but a bit too far ahead for Garai.
Yeah, I'm sure as we get into this game, you'll see Roger State trying to stall a little bit of time, take a little bit longer on the throw-ins, a little bit longer on resetting the play. Another tactic to secure that win and keep their lead.
Maybe the most infuriating for the casual soccer fans, the stall.
Right.
Fletcher working on the far side and earns the corner kick for the Hillcats off the deflection.
So we'll see him here. He's running towards the ball, but telling the guy that's getting it to not play it to him, slow it down a little bit. So they're again trying to waste a little bit of time, get some time off the clock to keep that lead.
O'Rourke to take it. Larkin trying to get Viseo back in to be on the pitch for that corner. O'Rourke sends it in low. Aside by Chancho. Semeniuk controlling, and Preston Watkins comes and takes it away. Good defense there by Trussell in particular. Here's Ryder into the middle of the field. Has a drive, and Dixon able to turn aside. Rebound shot. Save Dixon. Two big plays there by freshman Michael, by Ryder and Preston Watkins.
That's a big deal for your first year here in college. Being such an impact player on your team is really impressive.
Here's Herman. Semeniuk looking back post. Nobody there. Preston Watkins checks off. Viseo back on. And right now it's Preston Watkins' goal that is the difference in this one. 3-2 Hillcats, under 15 minutes to play. Winner moves on to Saturday's championship game. That one deflects off of Chancho. Valles sends it deep. Turner retreats and blasts it out of play. Semeniuk checks out. Sandstow back in.
Hey, Brandon, pay attention. Got players coming forward. Come on. Got one coming backside, Eric. Eric!
Big throw into the box. Valles heads it up. Garai back in. Chancho, it's loose and the Hillcats cleared out. Elgas looking backside for Herman. Flicked on. Sandstone with a drive, and Carvalho blocks it. Another deflection. Hits in! Goy puts it in! Deflection after deflection, and the Tigers equalize with 13 and a half minutes to go.
We see it worked out. They pushed people forward and got their equalizer, and they did it early and did it well.
Alex Nichols having an animated discussion with Mario Leal Valles. Earns a yellow card for being out of the coach's box. You see the passion. I mean, both these teams know that with their spot in the regional rankings, they have to win, and probably have to win Saturday in order to move on to the NCAA tournament. And now we're really about to see the intensity ramped up over these last 13 minutes. Yurtsin able to gain possession there, right in the middle. Oh, and a great tackle by Herman. Here comes Hayes on the counter, up ahead to Johnson. Johnson to Sandstow, deflection, and it goes out of play for a corner for Hayes.
You know, if you're Rogers State, you may have wished that you would have played a little bit quicker when they were up and attacked a little bit more.
Such a balance between those two different tactics. You feel good. You just want to kind of sometimes sit back defensively, but at the same time, being aggressive is what got you the lead in the first place.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely pros and cons to each of those, and you've got to be able to weigh which one's more important.
Here's Walsh into the box, headed out. Johnson mishit it. Now low and in, still loose. Yurtsin can't clear it. Walkinen got a hand on it. Oh, and Treat is taken down by Johnson. That's going to be a card on Johnson. Definition of a tactical foul right there.
You see Johnson grabbing him around the waist again to slow him down and prevent that counterattack.
Postseason, so the cards aren't an issue for anyone at this point. Gildan Svensson set to check in here in just a moment. Down below us, Trussell taking the free kick just outside midfield. Sends it deep into the sun, and Dixon takes care of it, no problem. Do not envy Dixon having to look into that evening sun. Garai working back into the middle. Oh, nice play by Luakinen.
So we've got our...
Oh, a little miscommunication there between Johnson and Walsh, and the Hillcats looking to go quick here, but subs. Svensson back on. Johnson coming off here for the Tigers.
That does, though, mean that as Johnson comes off their long throw from the sides, they no longer have that threat.
Elgus on the near side, sends it deep, looking for Garai in the middle. Headed on. Svensson taken down, ball is loose. Turner looked like he kicked it from the ground. Do we have a foul? We do on Hayes. A quiet whistle. Looked like Turner kicked that from the ground, did it not there, Michael?
Yeah, he was definitely playing on the ground, and I guess they're calling that very first foul for the reason that he got on the ground. But as we go, the game's definitely becoming more physical. Everybody's playing a little bit faster with more urgency, and so looks like it'll come down to the wire.
There's Carvalho on the far side. Deflected out of play. It's over to Hayes. Bensuda earning the throw for the Tigers. It's been a tremendous match, Michael. Even back and forth. A lot of great individual play both ways.
It's been a great game to watch.
Worthy of the 3-3 tie that we find ourselves in with under 10 minutes to play. Goal kick here for the Hillcats. Nice defense over there by Treat. Treat, freshman out of Tulsa.
Looks like Villion will slow it down a little bit. Everybody look to reset and regain their shape.
There's Fletcher. Gets it outside for Leokinen.
It's a great use of their wide area, switching the ball across the field.
Here's Vaseo at the top. Trussell on the run, blasts it over the net. Moments like this, you wonder who's going to be the guy to step up. You look at the senior Vaseo. For Hayes, it could be any number of guys. Leading goal scorer, Simoniak.
We've had our freshmen step up in the last couple goals.
So Rourke chips it outside to Treat. Treat with a big throw down the sideline. Up top, and Suda gets it away. Here's Vaseo, chips it in toward Dixon and takes it away. Under 8 minutes to go. Svensson couldn't get ahead on it. We have throw in for the Tigers. Subs here for the Tigers. Dickerson comes off. Seam Dice in for the first time today. Svensson also comes off and in for the first time today. Bastian Karlman, another freshman out of Sweden. GAC honorable mention.
You know, with this many players rotating in, it really shows the depth of the strikers of the Fort Hays offense.
Injuries and just a new time trying to learn the pieces and everything. It resulted in a ton of players playing significant minutes for Hayes this season. Karlman tied for the team lead in goals scored with 8. He's out there for the first time, and it's exactly what he's out there to do. Get the game-winning goal. Walsh up ahead looking for Sandstow, not there. O'Rourke tracks down the tough pass. Here's Leonkinen. Oh, nice touch inside for O'Rourke, but good run there by Dice. Elgus up ahead to Sandstow. Working against Ryder. Sandstow gets around him. Crosses it in, too low. And Treat knocks it out of play and earns a corner for the Tigers.
I see we've got everybody from Rogers State coming back to defend.
Dice comes off, Dickerson back in. Just needed a couple moments of breath there. It'll be Herman, the corner to our right. Take this for Hayes. Low one. Back to Herman. Herman, top of the box. Drives it toward the back post. Still in play. Off the bar and out of play. Couldn't tell who got the shot. I think it was Bensuda. 5:45 to go. O'Rourke comes off. Ashton Medina, first appearance of the evening for him, the freshman out of Frisco. 1 goal to his credit this season. Fresh legs to push the envelope forward. Walsh up ahead to Sandstow. Looking up ahead. Here's Carlman. Working against Leokanen. Goes to the line, crosses in the middle, hits right there in the middle. Medina clears it out. Bensuda with a drive, off the bar. I think Villoin got a piece of it. Wow, and the Hillcats dodge a couple massive bullets there. And now here's Yertsin. Oh, and a play by Elgas. Vaseo knocks him off the ball and then is taken down by Elgas, and the foul goes on the Tigers. And the Hayes bench less than pleased with that decision. Caleb Trussell, sophomore out of Edmond, taking the free kick just below us. 4.5 minutes to go, tied at 3. Trussell sends it deep. It's a little bit wide to the right. Treat pops it up in the air. Armand has it on the far side, gets around Trendon Turner. And here come the Tigers. Dickerson working into the Hillcats third, and Ryder with the tackle. The ball stayed in play, and Dickerson has it back. Dickerson working to the end line, crosses it in, and it goes out of play. It's a goal kick here for the Hillcats. Great run there by Dickerson. Louis Bassett comes back on. Turner comes off with
picking up
a bit of an injury. And it's clear the GAC Defender of the Year was trying to give it all he had. What could be his final game. That one deflected. Here's Bassett. Leaves it back for Yertsin, who gets there first. Yertsin needs help, keeps it alive, blasts it in. Couldn't wrap his foot around that one and sends that one toward the parking lot. Had a gap, couldn't quite get the bend on it that he needed to send that toward the mouth of goal. Just a reminder, if we're tied at the end of regulation, we'll go to golden goal. 3 minutes remain in regulation. Here's Bassett. Head to Vaseo. Can he be the hero for the Hillcats? Back to the freshman Treat. Good ball in the middle. Good idea there, but Bassett couldn't get on the run.
As we go, Fort Hayes looks to counterattack quickly as Roger State was pushed up.
There's Garai. Knocked aside by Fletcher. Garai able to get it up ahead. Going to come away with it. It's Dickerson who comes away with it. Dickerson outside for Sandstow. Deflected there by Medina, who came back to help. Garai, the top of the box. Outside, ball across the middle, just too tall for Carlman. Loose ball. Here's Elgis back across the mouth of goal. Back post. Save, Viljoen! Walsh with the header on, but Viljoen with the save.
We go minute 45 left. We've got Fort Hayes with the corner, just knocking on the door, ready to put something in.
Fletcher was down on his knees in the box. I think he took a shot to the back of the head. Like he's going to be all right. Massive crowd in front of the goal. Tig Walsh taking the corner with 1:45 left. Sends it in low, hits loose, and a shot! It's no good over the bar. Valles. Yurtson comes off. Brandon O'Rourke back in for the Hillcats with 1:32 to go in regulation. Both squads a couple great opportunities here down the stretch, Michael. Now it's the Hillcats' turn to maybe put some pressure on the Hayes goal.
You definitely have seen that Fort Hayes has had the most amount of pressure in the last 5 to 10 minutes here, and so we'll see if Rogers can respond.
Luis Vaseo with the high kick as he nearly took Chancho's nose off. Alex Nick.
Very well may be the last attack for Fort Hayes until overtime.
Vermont up top, Sandstone with a touch. Oh, mishit by Treat. A shot, a save by Viljoen. Quickly back the other way. Hillcats trying to counter, but here's Guy back with it. Can Dickerson get there first? Oh, a nice takedown by Treat. Bassett couldn't get there. Valles outside to Elgis. 30 seconds left. Valles up ahead. Here's Walsh, leaves it back for Sandstone, looking for Carlman, but Leokinen there. Deflection off the back of Bassett. Here's Guy. Walsh up top, chips it in, and Viljoen comes out to get it, fumbled it, but got back on top of it. 5 seconds left as the final seconds tick off. We're going to extra time, Michael. And this match has deserved it. Deserves a little bit more time between these squads who have really laid it all out there those last 15 minutes. Man, that was wild.
What a game. This is going to be great. Really excited for this this overtime, and we know it's golden goal, and so both teams will be pushing as hard as they can, and we've already been running for 90 minutes, and so that's a lot of running.
Just some outstanding stuff there down the stretch of regulation. So golden goal here as we head to extra time. So 5-minute timeout. We'll step aside for a quick break. When we come back, the start of extra time here in semifinal 1 of the GAC MIAA Men's Soccer Championship. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back to Bethany, a tremendous match in the first semifinal of the GAC MIAA Men's Soccer Championship. It deserves extra time, and that's what we've got. 3-3 our score between the Hillcats and the Tigers. Rogers State, the 2 seed, looking to advance to Saturday's championship. The Tigers looking to do the same. Semifinal number 2 will have to wait a little bit longer. Luke McConnell, Michael Horn with you, and Michael, it's been outstanding. 4 goals here in the second half of action leave us knotted at 3 apiece. The Tigers ultimately getting the equalizer in the 77th minute to send this one to extra time, and both teams had some great opportunities to get the game winner, but both defenses able to do just enough to keep the ball out of the net.
Right. I mean, we'll see how it folds out here. I mean, we've got our Fort Hays keeper with 6 saves, and our Rogers State Villion with 10, and so a lot of those saves came in the last half of that second half, and so we see that Fort Hays has really been pushing forward and putting a lot of pressure on Rogers, but Rogers State has done a great job of holding them off and really getting to this point for extra time.
Declan Viljoen showing why he's a GAC first team member. 10 saves so far here this evening, and some of them of the spectacular variety, some of them the absolutely necessary variety to keep the Hillcats in this one. You know, one thing to note, Michael, Hillcats going without Alex Lang, who's been unable to return since going down with injury. The Tigers were able to equalize after he went out with injury at that right back position.
That may be the difference maker.
The freshman Ellis Leonkinen has been the guy. Ball kept in play down there by Sandstow, and here comes Marcos Viseo. He got the scoring started with penalty kick in the 16th minute. Team high 9th goal this year. Outside Bassett couldn't get a foot on it. Throw in here for the Tigers. It is golden goal. 10-minute periods. We'll swap ends if nobody has scored after the first 10 minutes. Here's Walsh, flicks it on. Carlman to the top of the box. Sandstow couldn't get anything on that one. Good defense there by Trussell.
Save number 11 for Villion.
Hey, get close together!
And the Hillcats counter here. Here's Ryder up ahead. Into the corner, Bassett. Lays it back for Leokinen. Into the box. Herman sends it out. Bassett went down along the sideline. Oh, there's a flick on. Ligera. Oh, and good defense there by Carvajo. Here comes Carvajo. Down into the corner. Crosses it in. Dixon right there for Hayes. And Michael, both teams keeping up this high pace here. Not content to just kind of play possession. Sandstow keeps his feet, keeps possession.
We know that's incredibly hard to do.
Into the corner. Garay. Back up top to Herman. Herman crosses it in, deflects off Viseo. And Yurtsin clears it out. Preston Watkins back out there for the Hillcats. It was his goal that put the Hillcats up. Leonkinen. That one blocked by Sandstow, but Ryder able to get it back. Looking deep. Fletcher on the nice run, gets it into the box. Deflected by Ehrman.
Quickly coming back the other way.
Ramon curls it up the line. Yurtsin, nice touch to Vaseo. Hillcats with an opportunity here. Vaseo looking for Preston Watkins. Here comes Valles on the counter. Outside, Garai steps inside. A little bit too heavy of a touch, and Bassett sends it all the way back down in front of the Hayes bench. Substitution here. Carlman comes off. And Semeniuk back on for the Tigers.
Yeah, they were asking him to take a knee, which means he may have picked up some kind of injury in the last couple of minutes.
Johnson to throw for Hayes. Sends it deep. Dickerson flicks that one on. Semeniuk to the top of the box. Taken down by Ryder. No call. And here comes Trussell the other way. Looking for Bassett on the run. Had a nice touch. Bassett keeps it. Chancho takes it back. Here's Trussell with a drive. Dixon turns it aside. A diving save.
But now we see Rogers State pushing pretty high, attacking really quickly, trying to keep in that counter against a high pressing Fort Hays team.
Sandstow off the deflection, and that'll be a Hayes throw in down to our left. Five minutes to go in the first period of extra time. Tied up at 3. Johnson setting up for a deep toss. Sends it into the box. Chancho flicks it on. A drive. Deflected out of play. And it's going to be a corner kick for the Tigers. It was Walsh at the top of the box with the drive.
We've got some great defensive play by Rogers, just trying to keep Fort Hays out of the goal.
Walsh will be the guy to take the corner. Sets up, drives it in a little low. Yurtsin clears it back out, and Walsh will just do it again. Under 4 minutes to go, first period. There's Walsh sends it in, looking for the back post, and it is out of bounds. Wow, Michael, I don't know how no one put that in. It cleared over Viljoen, and Valles couldn't put it in.
All the way to that back post.
Man, there's been a couple of those tonight for Hayes that have just kind of sat right there that they haven't been able to capitalize on. Trendon Turner back on for the Hillcats. Preston Watkins comes off. Bassett comes off. And Lawson Ford out there right now. Sandstow loops that down, looking for Garai. Working with Carvajo. Garai unable to get around Carvajo. Nice defense there by the Portuguese defensive back. Viljoen looking for Yurtsin, but Johnson gets there first. Big hitter down the line.
Good
Fletcher
clearance.
clears that out of bounds. Garay comes out. Ramirez back in for Hayes. A little bit of speed there. Into the box. Still loose. Turner gets there and just clears it up the sideline. Finally trickles out of play in front of the Hayes bench.
Great clearance up the sideline. We see that Fort Hayes still is keeping people pretty high. So they're obviously looking to put the ball in the box again.
Under 2 minutes to go. First period of extra time. We're in a golden goal situation. Sermon in the middle sends a laser down toward Viljoen right at him. That would have been a spectacular finish. And Viljoen just stands 5'10", so Ramirez flicks that on up ahead. Seminyuk looking for Walsh. Brings it down. Turns and goes sideline. Fletcher is there and earns the deflection off of Ramirez's toe and gets the throw in for the Hillcats. Under a minute to go. First period of extra time. Deflected up. Walsh missed it. Viseo sends it outside. Here comes Ford down the left side. Leokinen's with him. Back to Ford. Ford has it taken away from him by Walsh. Nice defense there by Tyg Walsh. Down to 20 seconds. See if Hayes opts to push forward one more time or if they kind of just sit on this.
It looks like we're maybe moving to the second half of overtime.
Viseo lets that one trickle out. So we'll do another 10-minute period. Again, we remain golden goal situation, so 2-minute timeout. Michael, obviously, neither of these teams really want to move into a penalty shootout. That's not necessarily the optimal, look for either team, but they want to finish it here in normal play.
Oh yeah, even with a penalty shootout, you never know. Anything can happen in those moments, and so there's really no advantages in that way. These players have got to be incredibly tired, pushing and running and playing high-pressure soccer for both halves in regulation and the first half in overtime, and that's incredibly hard to do.
Just been back and forth, so many opportunities both ways. .24 combined shots on goal in this one, Michael, and both teams have had their opportunities.
And it could go either way.
And at this point, like you mentioned as far as the endurance factor, this might be just a battle of stamina. Those conditioning runs in August and over the summer. Which side put in the work in those moments to where they can dig just a little bit deeper here for these last 10 minutes and maybe get a half a step on a defender.
And this is really where it pays off.
And Michael, if you're one of the keepers, Ben Dixon, Declan Viljoen, you got to stay out of your own head here because you can't think too far ahead. Can't be thinking about a penalty shootout when you've got a drive coming off the left sideline coming right at you. Got to stay in the moment and stay focused on what you're able to do right now. Not worried about what could be here in 10 minutes' time.
Right, that is a hard thing to think about, and I'm sure they've both keepers done a little bit of film study on how which way players normally shoot and how they do it and where they go, and so we'll see. We may end up seeing how that could pay off in the end.
Here's Vaseo. Vaseo on the run. Top of the box, crosses it in. Ford looked for the run. Vaseo didn't make it, though. Good idea there by the sophomore. If you're the Hillcats, you probably want to see someone like Vaseo, your senior leader, be the guy to step up and make the play.
Right, he's beat his man almost every time down the line, and so, he will most likely be a big difference maker in this last 10-minute round.
Here's Johnson. Looking deep, a nice bump there from Carvajo. Seminyuk got there, and Hillcats had to play it out of bounds.
And as we've talked about fouls, we've talked about how they're playing, and so they've definitely got to be more careful in this moment to not give anything up in the box.
Once again, Johnson, the long throw specialist, having to stand amongst the Newman Jets on the far side, waiting their opportunity to punch a ticket to Saturday. Garay into the box, headed away by Turner. Garay chips it back in. Villot in there to clean it up. Looked like Dickerson might have been offside. Oh, what a chunk there from Villot. Can O'Rourke get there first? He can, ahead of Bensuda. Leaves it back for Fletcher. Here's Fletcher down the far side, into the box. O'Rourke with a touch. O'Rourke with a shot, blocked out of bounds by Bensuda. The Hillcats with a throw-in, or excuse me, a corner kick. 2 minutes gone by in extra time period number 2.
It's a great push down the line by Rogers State here.
That play by Villon, a great reminder that you don't have to punt at 75 yards if you're the keeper. A nice 40-yard toss can do the trick. Here's O'Rourke. Into the middle. Headed aside, and Seminyuk clears it up.
Little mishit.
Oh, nice play by Trussell. Gets it ahead to Ford. Ford, had it taken away by Herman. Beautifully done. Up ahead to Dickerson. Garay, back post looking for Walsh. Touched out of bounds by Leokinen. I think we're going to get a card here on Lawson Ford for the clip from behind.
That's great by the ref to wait until the play's over to give him that card.
So a corner here for Hayes. Marco Herman. First team all GAC taking this from the corner down to our right. Herman loops it in, looking back post. Headed up and out.
So going to reset this ball quickly.
Ford comes off into the match for the first time. Oren Colquhoun, freshman out of Northern Ireland. Trendon Turner moving up the field now for the Hillcats. 6 minutes to go. And a handball is called on the Tigers. In a pivotal moment. Be O'Rourke to take it.
This could be a big moment for the junior O'Rourke.
Everybody up, even with the ball here for Rogers State. Garai and Walsh making the wall. O'Rourke sends it outside to Fletcher. Fletcher blocked there by Garai and didn't get a handball there. And here come the Tigers. Bensuda up ahead to Garai. He's got Carlman on the back side. Can he get there? It's O'Rourke who gets there first and turns it back up the pitch. Here's Vaseo with time, but deflects that pass off of Dickerson. Herman stepped on the ball and got it back. Garai up ahead to Dickerson. Dickerson, oh, nice play by Trussell. Goes down again. Oh, Trussell, what a play. Then Herman up top. It's Walsh trying to get free for a shot. Can't do it. Chips it back post. And for Garai, and he can't get there in time. Oh, but Michael, what a tremendous play there by the midfielder, Caleb Trussell.
Great hold-up play. Just missing the opportunity for a shot.
Thinsto back on. Carlman checks off for Hayes. Down to 4:15 to go in extra time. Turner bumps, no call. Here's Sandstow. Carvajo gets that out of bounds. Hayes in no rush at this point. Under 4 minutes to go with a throw in into the Hillcats defensive third.
What a weapon Johnson is to be able to throw that ball, a good 30 yards across the field.
There's Fletcher, sends it up and back. There's Herman. Up ahead. Walsh chips it in. One more. Garai! No. The Hayes bench wanted a foul. Villoen quickly back the other way. Herman sends it in. Simoniuk, couldn't bring it down cleanly. Dickerson bumps off Ryder, and a foul is called on Ryder. Carvajo is hurting a little bit, limping around in the box for Rogers State. 2:42 and counting as Walsh and Herman stand over this one. Just in front of the Tigers bench.
They've been dangerous all day on these set pieces.
Alex Nichols directing traffic from the sideline for the Tigers. It'll be Herman. Sends it in, looking toward the back. Headed away by Carvajo. There's Johnson with a drive and way out of play. Under 2 minutes to go. And the Hillcats mount one last charge here. Villoen blasts it deep. Walsh looping it for Garai, but Fletcher brings it down. There's Vaseo, dispossessed. Carvajo gets it down to Turner. Vaseo looking down the line, no one there. And Dixon dangerously lets that go into the box before picking that up. 65 seconds left. Here comes the final push as Johnson crosses midfield, runs by Yurtsin. Johnson drives it in low. Carvajo turns it aside.
Yeah, that question is going to be who's got the last little push, last drive to.
There's Vaseo, lobs it up ahead. Herman got a foot up just in time. Turner missed the tackle. There's Herman, chips it in, looking backside, nobody there. Johnson can get there though, along the sideline. Takes it to the end line and earns a goal kick for the Hillcats. Nice defense there by Fletcher. 20 seconds left. And it looks like Villoen is content to let this run out. And we're going to move to a penalty shootout, Michael. What a game. What a match.
Wow,
3-3 at the end of extra time. We're heading to a penalty shootout between Rogers State and Fort Hays State.
It's definitely well deserved and a big moment.
You can tell the fatigue, the chances in that second session of extra time not quite as, not necessarily realistic, but there's not a lot of great opportunities there either way. A lot of balls into the box, so nothing really truly on goal there, Michael, but now it just comes down.
It comes down to 5 kicks.
Just a 15-yard shot, just you and the keeper, both sides. Villoen, 66 saves this season. Has made 10 here tonight. Dixon, 7. Now, Dixon has played in just this is just his 7th game of the season again. The Tigers have played 4 keepers this season.
You know, got to think, is that going to be is that a strong suit for Rogers? Is that their keeper has been in all year? He's made all conference and is pushing forward that way, and so that may be a plus for Rogers State here.
Captains meet. Sun's fully down, so that won't be an issue for either squad, fortunately.
And penalties are hard. The biggest thing when you're going up to take one is try not to change your mind. The moment you think the keeper's going the other way and you change what you're going to do, and a lot of times that can result in really missing your shot. And so just to make sure you're confident and you're set in what you're going to do and you've made your decision before you get there is going to be big as they make that walk from halfway to try to put it in the back of the net.
The walk from midfield's got to be one of the most lonely walks in sports. Just 45-yard walk just by yourself, thinking about the size of the goal as it gets seemingly smaller and smaller in your mind the closer you get.
Right, and everybody's quiet as you're walking up, and so that builds your pressure and is a big moment for these guys.
So we'll do this on the goal to our left. Nichols giving his keeper Ben Dixon a little bit of pep talk before he heads out there. 6 guys out there. So here we go. First up will be Fort Hays. Ty Walsh approaching the penalty spot. Declan Villowen's been one of the best keepers, if not the best keeper, in the Great American Conference over his 4-year career. Can he put saves in a penalty shootout on his resume? And both Villowen and Dixon, neither of them huge guys. You know, Villowen just 5'10", Dixon 6 foot. It's not like they're, 6'5", with, 10-foot wingspans out there. For as far as keepers go, a little bit on the smaller side.
Yeah, I mean, they've even though being on the small side, they've done a great job covering their goal and making their saves. With Dixon having 7 and Villar having 10, really commanded their box and their goal.
There's the whistle. Here's Walsh. First one in the back of the net. And Ty Walsh starts Hayes off on the right foot. First step for the Hillcats. It's going to be Villowen. So the keeper, Villowen, taking the first shot here for Rogers State. Not something you see too often, Michael.
No. Usually the keeper's the last one to take it.
And he puts it right in the bottom right corner. Picture perfect.
Great finish. That may also build him confidence, as he's going forward to make those saves.
It's all about the head games here from 15 yards out. Elias Ovalar Semeniuk, the second to step to the penalty spot for Hayes. Semeniuk, the approach. Drives it in the bottom left. Villowen went to his left. Semeniuk buried it in the bottom corner opposite.
And you knew where he was going. He knew where he was going. There was no second guessing.
So far, 3 for 3. Doing an outstanding job keeping it in the corners. Low corners. So here's Eric Yurtson, the junior out of Malmö, Sweden. The approach goes high right and puts it in, and we're tied to a piece. Michael, it wouldn't shock me if we needed more than 5 kickers with the way this match has gone this evening.
I mean, they've answered every single time. And the keeper just needs one.
Felix Tellez Ramirez steps to the spot. The transfer from Newman. His former teammates will play here in just a little bit. But right now, Ramirez puts it in the bottom. A bit of a slow roller there, Michael, but Villowen clearly had committed to going left and couldn't redistribute that weight to go back right in time. That's a tough one.
We'll see how that plays into how he dives in the rest of these penalties.
Here's Caleb Trussell, the sophomore from just up the road in Edmond. Drives it, and Dixon with the save! Dixon diving to his right, got just enough of it to keep it out of the net. And now the Tigers in an advantageous position. And the Tigers capitalize here. The shot, hit, it's in! And the Tigers take a 4-2 lead. Brandon O'Rourke trying to keep things alive here for the Hillcats. Has to have it. O'Rourke, picture perfect again on the left side. And here comes Marco Herman. Trying to win this one.
Yeah, this could end it.
For Fort Hays. Hays up 4-3, courtesy of the PK from Chris Rios Ruiz. Herman steadies, approaches, dives, save Viljoen! Unbelievable! The senior comes up huge!
What a save. That's par for this game, though.
And now Marco Svaseo steps to the spot to tie us back up at 4.
Par for this game. They've always had an answer.
Just an unbelievable match. Vaseo, approach, drives, goal, we're tied! And now we move on to the next set of kickers. My goodness. Both keepers come up with a save apiece. Tied up at 4.
So now essentially it's golden goal. So whoever doesn't make it will lose in that moment. And so not another 5, but this is it.
Lucas Garay, freshman, approaches the spot and buries it bottom right. First one to go with kind of the slow approach. Now Trendon Turner, senior from Edmond, the defender of the year in the conference, trying to extend the match even further. Turner shoots, got it. Dixon guessed right, but picture perfect spot from Turner right in the bottom corner. Inigo with the slow spot right in the middle. Got Viljoen diving and Inigo buries it. Apologies for not getting the Hayes numbers a little bit quicker. A little bit harder to pick up here as night has fallen here in Bethany. Louis Bassett trying to tie it at 6. Bassett hesitates and chips it in. Classy. Inder Sandstow. As we move to our 8th kicker.
Wow.
Sandstow sets up, drives, got it just out of the reach of Viljoen. And we roll along. Here's Carvalho. The whistle. Here's Carvalho. Drives. Save by Dixon! And Fort Hays advances to Saturday's championship match.
Wow, such a hard-fought game.
(7-6), the penalty shootout final as the Tigers take down the Hillcats as Ben Dixon gets his 2nd save. Michael, what a match. Just what a match.
Wow. That's a great game to watch and be a part of, and you know, they really deserved the win. You can tell they wanted it, and they pushed to the final second.
Just so even throughout the entire afternoon and evening. Everybody had an answer. Both squads had an answer every single time. They had answers even into the penalty shootout. As Dixon able to get the first save, and then Viljoen 2 kickers later comes up with a save of his own to extend it all the way to an 8th kicker. But in the end, it's Fort Hays State who is moving on to Saturday's final. They'll take on the winner of top seed Southern Nazarene and 4th seed Newman, as those teams are finally able to take the pitch and get loosened up for the contest coming up in about 20 minutes time. Michael, your final thoughts from this one?
This was a great game. I mean, both teams, I mean, their hearts were in it, and obviously this is, you know, they needed this to go on to the NCAA championship, and it's such exciting soccer going back, you know, back and forth, a lot of attack and a lot of opportunities on goal, which you know, made a big difference. They always had an answer, and they always were able to respond when they needed to. And great job to both teams, and congratulations to Fort Hays State Tigers, and we'll see how they do on Saturday.
And a big congratulations, of course, to Rogers State. A couple guys who've been here for a long time, Marcus Vaseo, Trenton Turner, a couple other seniors on that squad that, you know, have done so much for Rogers State. And, you know, it's unfortunate that one of these two teams wasn't going to make the NCAA tournament. just with how things were shaking out in the regional rankings, because both absolutely deserved to be in. And if there was some way for that to happen, it would be tremendous. But there doesn't seem to be a path forward for that. And, congratulations to Derek Larkin, his final game as head coach of the Rogers State Hillcats after 18 years, founding the program back in 2007, and has made it what it is today, a great program, a classy program with some really, really good teams over the past few years. So congrats to him, and best of luck in his next endeavor into athletic administration. Well, that's going to do it for our first match. Fort Hays State, the Tigers, advance 7-6 in penalty kicks after teams ended extra time tied at 3 goals apiece. They'll play Saturday, 1 o'clock here at West Hartman Field against the winner of 4th seed Newman and 1st seed Southern Nazarene. That's coming up in about 15 minutes' time. For all of us here at SNU Athletics and the Great American Conference, for my partner, Michael Horn, and Luke McConnell saying good evening from Bethany. We'll see you back here for semifinal number 2 in just a little while.